Welcome back to the desk. Mason Mills here, joined alongside Wyatt, Justin, Dylan, and Chris to talk some William Patterson men's and women's basketball. Guys, let's start off by talking about how William Patterson squared off against their NJAC rival, NJCU. We got some highlights. Wyatt?
We're going to take a look at it right here. We're going to go to the rec center. William Patterson women started it off well. They went on a tear. Gabby Harris from three. She has been a freshman to remember, and she had a great game in this one. Ashley Palmieri off the rebound takes it coast to coast. NJCU the entire game really couldn't have anything going. Christina Ulrich even on the middle. Another freshman that has helped out this William Patterson team. And then to end off the game in the fourth quarter, Sahana Asani with the steal takes it into Alira McCoy, puts it up and in. William Patterson win this game by 25, and they took control of what they needed to in a big NJAC game against NJCU.
Dylan, what did you see here?
Yeah, I mean, the game was a rout from the get-go. The Pioneers did everything they wanted to. It was just really a David and Goliath type deal, but it was Goliath ended up winning. And I mean, like I said, the William Patterson women's did literally anything they wanted.
Justin, what did you see?
NJCU women's team, I have to give some respect to them. Last year, they only won one game. They've already won 3 this year, so they made tenfold in increasing in progress of their team. But it was an ugly game to watch. I know William Patterson got a big win. Between the two teams, there's 52 turnovers. So being down on the sideline, I was saying a turnover about an average about 1 a minute, maybe even more than that. So it was an ugly game.
Right.
There's things that need to be cleaned up, but it's definitely a nice win.
Chris?
Yeah, Justin, you bring up the turnovers, and we should probably look at all the other stats from the game. So you take a look at the stats from William Patterson taking on the Gothic Knights. Patterson went in with a big win. They had 52 combined turnovers. William Patterson, 46 points in the paint. Gothic Knights only 22. 29 points off turnovers, which should be a lot higher considering those 52 combined turnovers. And the largest lead, 34-0. That's a good goose egg to have if you're looking on the opposite side.
I thought it was a good stat to put in because William Patterson never trailed in this game.
Yeah,
Never trailed.
The only time they were tied was 0-0. And that's, you know, that William Patterson is going to be very good in this conference coming up this year.
Going and even moving forward, because a lot of their better players now are freshmen, like Gabby Harris and Alira McCoy.
Yeah,
if I'm not
Christina
mistaken.
Ulrich. All three of them played really well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a difficult transition, especially if you've been here for a while, to see a freshman step in and do so well. But it's like Gabby Harris picked up right where Brittany Harden left off. So I think she's going to be a big part of the success moving forward for the Pioneers.
Now, clearly, William Patterson dominated this game. What do we see moving forward? Playoff picture, how are we feeling?
Well, last year, as we know, they won that thriller against Kane, then went into Montclair State. Dylan, me and you were there.
Yeah,
that
the
was
Kane
a bad
game was
one.
out of control.
But I think this team is a lot younger. They can get out on the press. They're a lot faster. Christina Ulrich, I think, can get out and guard any 1, 2, or 3 out on the court. Gabby Harris, as you said, picked up the scoring. She can shoot from 3, and I like where Coach Monahan is bringing this team and their chances going into the NJAC playoffs.
What I like with William Patterson is they're 4-2 right now, but they're 2-0 in the NJAC. So their 2 losses haven't come in the NJAC.
Right.
And they have very tough NJAC games coming up. So the fact that they're already 2-0 going into a tough 3-game stretch, now if you drop one, you obviously don't want to, but 3 wins, 4 wins in the NJAC early, that's good style.
I'll tell you what's going to make these Pioneers successful. They play fearless. These girls play with a fearless, relentless attitude. Christina Ulrich, Gabby Harris, top to bottom, I'd really say they just play with a reckless abandonment that you really need in order to be successful against any opponent. They impose their will on teams. They don't have to make too many adjustments.
Now, fellas, let's move on to the men's here. Men's got some highlights. Wyatt?
Yeah, we'll take it back down to the rec center. They played right after, as they usually do. Terrell McLennan out on the corner against big NJAC rival NJCU. Peter Martinez, 3-ball, corner pocket, out on the wing. He looked very good in this game. Then in the second quarter, Peter Martinez flips it up and in for the basket. Terrell McClendon on the steal. He's going to take it up. Back to Martinez. Back in. A lot of Martinez highlights, but that's how the game went. This game would go into overtime. Galen Smith would miss a free throw, which would send it back in. He, by the way, had a phenomenal game,
He did.
but they went into overtime, ended up losing. It was exciting. Dylan, you had the call. I mean, this game meant a lot to William Patterson, and it stunk to drop this one.
I got to tell you, it was probably the most fun I had ever calling a basketball game. It was back and forth. The fans were into it. The two teams were just really butting heads. And like you said, Wyatt, it really did come down to free throws, unfortunately. I mean, like, Galen had one heck of a game. He's our boy, too. And I don't, like, it's not one person, but the 3 biggest free throws of the game, he did go 2 for 3.
Right.
He made up for it later in the overtime period. He made a crazy fall-away 3 from the corner. Something out of the book of like Tracy McGrady or something, but it was one of the craziest shots I'd ever seen. And really, it's the first time in a while these senior Pioneers have had to step up into leadership roles, so they're going to have to learn how to win when it's their team, and that's seriously what I've been seeing going on this season.
Justin, what'd you see here?
There's a lot of adjustments that need to be made. They got to figure it out. NJC is a real tough team, and when they turned up the defensive intensity in about the last 5 minutes of the game, they didn't really have much to answer with. Terrell McClennan's still able to get to the rack and get to the free throw line. A good game for David Mofonia. He came into the game shooting 50% from the free throw line. He would finish 10 for 10.
Yeah.
So there's some minor improvements, but as a team, they still need to get together and cohese.
Right. Chris, wrap it up.
They've dropped 4 in a row, but I want to say this is a positive overtime loss because that's one that's going to wake up your season and get you going for the rest of the way.
Absolutely.
It was back-to-back overtime losses, to be honest with you. Even against Centenary College, they lost one in overtime. It's tough. It's tough.
And that'll wrap it up for Pioneer basketball. Up next, Greg Blas and the crew talk NFL playoffs.
I think the